Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is Spittinfire coming to you with another one. So recently, I have did a video about Ukraine and Russia, and they are at war. Okay, and I explained in that last video that many don't understand war. You know, if you really ask people about war, a lot of war or whatever, they normally say something about oil or whatever else. And they may not understand it, but a lot of times people think that when you do commentary on these such things and you explain that you don't understand, well, what is war? You know, there has been songs about it that it doesn't mean anything because it's really about one's personal beliefs, about leaders who are able to run nations and people who are working or subordinates of these leaders and willing to do whatever the leader said in belief that that leader is doing and operating in the best for them. Okay. And so that's all it is. It's one's belief. You know what I mean? Like my belief is better than your beliefs, and you better believe the way I believe, and all this type of things. Because this is the way the human being works. And these wars have been going on for many centuries. Okay, and if you really look and study it, you can find that you can support war when you are under a direct attack. Okay, but if you really think about the issue at why you went to war, you really find out it's really minute. And many lives have been lost on a lot of minute wars, right? So there has been many content creators or other content creators that think that because a lot of us talk about it and we may not understand a lot of things, that we don't understand war or we don't understand what's going on, and that they do. And I'll say, there goes that belief again. I understand it, you don't. I do understand it, you don't. You know what I mean? Because of one belief and what ones know. But what we do know is that this war is going on because of the simple fact is, as I mentioned, Vladimir Putin has an issue with Zelensky, right? Who is the president of Ukraine, right? And there's been some things going on for a few years now with Vladimir Putin and Zelensky, okay, when it became to these two countries, right? And there was many talks about peace and things like that, but for some reason, Putin couldn't let things go. You know how some people just, you could talk to them, you could try to make peace with them, but they just got this thing. I wouldn't say grudge, but this thing. And then what they do is they sit up there and they talk about, or they accuse you of being a Nazi. So he was talking about them being Nazianism and practicing Nazians and all this type of things. And Zelensky's like, no, we don't do that. And you know this. And we have many different people from different parts of the Soviet Union as well as the European Union. And the Ukraine has sat down and talked to many of them. Okay. As they have a lot of NATO allies. Okay. Ukraine does. But before Ukraine, been ally of NATO, they were part of the Soviet Union. So at that time, Russia didn't have no issue with them. They never accused them of being Nazianisms and things of that nature because they were part of them. However, it wasn't until Ukraine broke away, okay? Listen to Spittinfire. It wasn't until Ukraine broke away that there has been an issue with Ukraine and Russia since the breakaway, okay? And Ukraine has become allies with NATO, okay? NATO is a membership of many different countries, all right? And a lot of times it has nothing to do with NATO surrounding Russia and being bigger than Russia. It has nothing to do with that. We have a lot of members of different countries coming together, and they're big. We have a lot of countries that are allies of one another, and they're big. That has nothing to do with it. But when you threaten the economic status of one country, and when you break away and become your own again, and they felt like they've been used, like they raise you up. If you become part of a Soviet Union, the Soviet Union help you with the economic status of your country, do all these things, right? Where their people have been I don't know if they pay taxes or what they do, but I'm just going to go by what I think they do, right? And then you say, okay, well, we on our feet now. We just want to break away. Well, that's hurtful because at this point, that's damaging to their economy, okay? But what NATO is a bunch of members, a bunch of countries that's in the membership, right? And even if you are not part of NATO, if you are an ally to NATO, okay, to the countries of NATO, if you are an ally to them, they will help out in defense, as the U.S. and UK have done with Ukraine, right? Because you mess with one, you mess with all, or you mess with our friends, you mess with us, okay? So today, the US of A, as UK, and many other nations that's going to follow suit, especially the ones that's part of NATO, okay, are going to stop travels to Russia. And that there will help cripple their economy. So if they cripple the economy, how can they continue to fund war? War is very costly, right? Money is made during war, and war is very costly. And if you cripple the economy, then they forcing them to cease the war. They're forcing them to pull out of the war. But when you talk about war and you do that, now it's like many dead people are dead for no reason other than Russia is accusing Ukraine of practicing Nazism. And that's not what they continue to say they're not doing this. They don't even understand why they are even under attack. You understand what I'm saying? So it has nothing to do with NATO and their being big and surrounding Russia. It has everything to do with economics. It has everything to do with that. Everything. And that is problematic, because when you join something and you got millions of people, if not billions of people joining. So if you join a country, or if you join a membership such as like the countries of NATO, right? All the US of A and Japan, UK and Canada, all part of NATO, then that makes it big, right? That makes it big and powerful. And if Russia is not part of NATO, okay, then they don't care, because they know that all these big countries are part of the membership. That's not the issue with them. The issue was with Ukraine, and Ukraine breaking away from the Soviet Union, their Soviet Union. Okay. And so now that has happened, Ukraine is allies of NATO. Russia has become allies with China, because China wants to do the same thing with Taiwan. And China has a lot of people. China is a very powerful, dominant country. So Putin felt secure with now attacking Ukraine, even in the midst of NATO support. And this is why all this happened. And it's really just about dictatorship. That's the key word in all of this. That's the key word in all of this. Is that to stop people from living and being the way they want, and we can dictate how we want you to be. I don't know the history in depths of these two countries. I'm not part of it. I'm not going to pretend like I know. But what I do know what I know. And I do speak of what I know. Regardless if others think that we don't understand. But is war really something to understand? Or is it just senseless? Because when it's over with, millions of lives lost. And they really don't even know why. Thank you for listening to Spittin' Fire. I'm your girl, R.A. Fire out.